take a look at these pictures for me. You're looking at Jake. Little Jake, 6 years old when he was diagnosed with leukemia. There's his mom, Amanda. And of course, horrific news to learn her son very ill. When she asked for compassionate leave from her job, though, her job at a nonprofit, she ended up being fired. The story's been up on CBCNews.ca, and it's got a lot of your attention this morning. So we wanted to talk more about that and introduce you to Amanda Jensen, who's in Calgary with me this morning. And Amanda, good to meet you in person here. Thanks for coming on with me today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
October 2016, learning that your then 6-year-old son, Jake, has leukemia, just must have been an absolute dagger through the heart. Terrible news.
I think that's the right way to put it. And I think it's every mother's and father's worst fear, but to actually have it realized was pretty overwhelming, and still is.
So at the time, you were working for the Lethbridge Lodging Association, and you had to notify your employer, obviously, that you'd be taking time off to look after Jake as he went through his treatment. What happened?
Right. What happened was I was given every reassurance, and all the right words were said to me, such things as whatever you need. My supervisor at the time is a mother. She said all the right things. I can't imagine what you're going through. When I think of my own children, it's devastating to me. We're here for you, all of those things. And went so far as to visit Jake and I when we were staying at Ronald McDonald House in Calgary during the first round of his treatment. Ate lunch with my family, was tremendously compassionate on the front of things. And then, we communicated via email and text.
So you thought you were just fine, and you were going to be covered. And then what happened?
November 7th, I received an email from the employer saying that my position was going to be outsourced to a management company because they couldn't accept my request for compassionate care leave. She then offered to issue me a record of employment so I could apply for employment insurance. And getting a text while I'm doing this. So I could apply for employment insurance, and the reason for dismissal was listed on the record of employment as compassionate care leave. So you can see why I had every reason to believe that all was well.
So you took this to the Alberta Human Rights Commission. Your initial action with them was dismissed, and I know you're appealing right now. But now you've also taken this to the Alberta government. And what are you looking from the province at this point?
I'm looking for changes to the employment standards law, and it was just a beautiful gift to me to hear that these issues are already on the radar of the Minister of Labour. She identified it through media interviews around the same time that this was happening to me, and I just felt it was such a gift that part of my work had already been done. I
just should probably point out that most provinces in this country have 37 weeks of leave for parents who have to look after critically ill kids. But Alberta is one of the 4 provinces that does not have a program or policy that applies to parents like you. So
absolutely.
What is the lesson of your story?
Oh, the lesson of my story is, I guess we have to be our own advocates, which is what I'm trying to do here. I do have confidence that most Albertans, most Canadians would understand that nobody should be in this position just because the employer, their argument is they've done something legal here. And in fact, unfortunately, they have. I mean, and you've already recognized that I believe that my human rights have been violated, and I'm fighting that battle, which is a separate battle. But in terms of the employment standards, unfortunately, what they have done is legal, which needs to change. But I don't think that most people on the street would think that that minimum standard is what should be met here. It's not a human response.
Listen, as I said online, CBCNews.ca for people who want to read your story more in depth. But I think people can see out of our camera in the corner. Oh, there's Jake. And before I let you go, Amanda, I want to check in with Jake because he's at home. He's receiving treatment. And how is Jake doing? Hi, Jake. I'm Heather, and you're talking to Canada. And thanks for being on our program with your mom as well. How's Jake doing, Amanda?
He's doing really well. I think it's hard for me to get in the shot here. He's responding just as well as we possibly could hope him to respond. And I mean, it's ugly, and he has some wicked side effects, and I wouldn't wish this on anyone, never mind a 7-year-old child. But he is responding, his body is responding as the doctors hope hoped it would. So we have every hope. There's no reason to think that this isn't going to end up a happy news story.
Jake, we are thinking of you, and we hope for all the best as you get your medical care these days. Thank you for being on with your mom and sharing your story. Amanda, thanks to you as well, of course. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Amanda Jensen from Calgary this morning.